I don't know what that means.
I don't know what
That's
that
never
means.
happened
It's never happened before.
It's been a while since I filmed a paranormal video. Here we go. Before I get into the video though, if you're new to this channel, I'm Beauty Creep. It started off as a beauty channel, it's not anymore, blah blah blah. And I film videos about Scotland, periods, the outdoors, mental health, general life, and occasionally, like this, creepy things, hence the creep part of the name. In this video I'm going to show you the scariest paranormal things that I've experienced on investigations with evidence. I just want to interrupt myself with no makeup to give a shout out to Kyla, who is who I got this video idea from, and I can't believe I forgot to mention it in the video, but Kyla is an amazing paranormal YouTuber. I love her, we've collabed before, she's unreal, and she has some amazing ghost stories. So I'll link her channel down below. Yeah, I just wanted to give her a shout out because that was my inspiration for this video. Man, I can't even explain this stuff. It's genuinely terrifying. They'll get scarier as the video goes on, and the last thing that I'm going to mention is the scariest thing that happened to me. The biggest thing that happened. So you'll want to stay to the end to see that. Before we start, I just want to give a little background. So the clips that you're going to see are from 4 different investigations that I've previously done in a vlog, so you can see all the vlogs, I'll put them below, with a Glasgow Paranormal team called Glasgow Paranormal Investigations, GPI. It helps that they, like me, they're also skeptics. They don't jump to every little thing that happens like ghost, ghost, ghost. You know, they're very rational about everything, and they try and find rational reasons for why things happened before jumping to conclusions, you know. They use a variety of different equipment, some of which I don't fully believe in, or not believe in, but I don't, you know, I'm not convinced that they work. But there are things that happened in the clips that you'll see that I can't explain with the equipment. For example, one of the things that this group uses is the spirit box, which is really popular with all different paranormal investigators. This one specifically is a PSB-11 that they use, and a lot of investigations they get absolutely nothing from it and things don't happen, but on these 4 particular investigations things kept happening with the PSB-11. For me, with a spirit box, they're quite loud, so you know, it freaks me out when they're used in investigations, and I don't know, I don't know if I 100% believe them, because I don't really know how they work properly, so I can't say for sure. But I think that, you know, if they're scanning different parts of like various radio frequencies, then I feel like people will just hear parts of different radio stations, and then, you know, in their head they'll think that they hear a word, or you know, they'll hear what they want to hear basically. So a lot of times when I do hear things on the spirit box, I'm like, that could just be, you know, from a radio station. But in this video you'll see things that I heard that I can't explain. Oh, it freaked me out, man. They also use an app called an Alice app, and this is one thing that I don't really believe in apps or anything like that. And I think the group are also, you know, kind of like that as well. They're not 100% convinced by it, but it's just a nice little thing to have on the side. And essentially it's just, you know, database of words on this app, and the spirit can pick certain words or communicate with you through this app, but I don't really believe in that. But yeah, I just wanted to get out first the fact that, you know, that I'm a skeptic, massive skeptic. I don't 100% know if I believe in ghosts. I have a whole video about that actually, which I'll link down below, about my thoughts on ghosts and things, so you can watch that as well if you're interested. And I just want to say as well that I 100% trust GPI. They're lovely people. They do this in their spare time. They don't charge loads of money and all this for people to come on investigations. It's all, a lot of the stuff they do is private, and they go out in their own time and investigate in their own little group rather than, you know, with the public. So, and I do trust these people. I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to show you the creepy shit that went down on these investigations. The first investigation that they invited me on was in the Scottish Maritime Museum. It's said to be pretty haunted. On part of the investigation we get shown into this really old house next, like round the corner. I'm not 100% sure how old the house is, but it's like hundreds of years old. It's kind of exactly the same as it was back then. It hasn't changed. And that is the first clip that I'm going to show you. So we're all sitting in this room, and you know, we're sitting around a table, we're all chatting because nothing's really happening, and we have the torch sitting upright on the table. Now this table was really hefty, right? It was really big, really hefty, heavy. Obviously the torch isn't sitting on the top heavy side because that's the bulb side, so we're sitting it on the sort of thinner side. So my fist looks huge here, I have small hands. And I never caught this on my camera. This was on Kim, who, oh yeah, I should say GPI consists of Billy and Kim They're a married couple. Anyway, so Kim's torch was sitting upright on the table, and we'd made sure that this torch wasn't going to fall. We were banging the table, proper banging the table to make sure, shaking the table to make sure this torch didn't fall, and it didn't budge the entire time. While we're all just sitting chatting, the torch just keeled over and hit some plates and gave us all a massive fright.
So that would have had 2 rooms.
Obviously that could be explained by, you know, the fact that the torch was on the thinner side, but we had tested it, you know, we had tried our best to try and make this torch fall just in case. It was fine, but it fell. Also, right, a funny thing involving the Alice app. I was sitting at that table, I can't remember if it was before or after the torch incident, but I was sitting panicking because I thought I got my period, and I was sitting panicking because I didn't have anything with me to help that situation if that happened. So I'm sitting panicking, right, sitting going, oh my god, what do I do, what do I do? I thought I could feel it coming out, and then on the Alice app it said period and I was like, okay, where's the vampire? I just thought that was a funny coincidence. Obviously it's just a coincidence, but it's a funny one. Also, when we were sitting replaying some of the footage on the recorder, the tape recorder, we heard a voice after, or during, sorry, some of the clips that we were playing, which I'll insert that clip now.
No way! And then we heard the band, and do you know who's with me? And she's like that. And the band, and the band, and the band, and
to me it kind of sounds like bitch. So then we went into this little room that instantly felt horrible, like the atmosphere just didn't feel good, and I don't know if I believe in that sort of thing, but you know, like I felt it and we all felt it. We had the spirit box on, we could hear a male voice continuously talking, and I'll insert clips of that just now.
Stuart, did you work here? Did you?
Yeah.
Do you need help? No?
No.
No? Thomas? Is that right? Is your full name Stuart Thomas? Yes.
Yes.
Is there a little boy about?
Boy. Because we felt so weird, we asked if we were safe in the room, and then instantly we heard a woman's voice instead of the man's voice that we'd been hearing, and the woman said no.
Are we safe in here? You heard a kind of Scottish no there by the way.
I know. After we heard the woman's voice say no, the spirit box started making the weirdest noises. Kim had said it never happened before, and it stopped working.
A kind of Scottish no there by the way.
I know.
I don't know what that means.
That's never happened. It's never happened before.
It's not.
No, never.
It's not even working proper now.
And did it have lots of battery before?
Yeah, it's all fresh.
And then Kim went out to get more batteries, and she was so like puzzled because they put in fresh batteries. The batteries were fine, they shouldn't have ran out, but something seemed to have sucked the energy from the battery and it stopped working, and she went back to get more batteries and she took the spirit box with her, so we're all sitting in the dark like this. And then when she came back, she said the spirit box instantly just was silent and then instantly just started talking again, as if like somebody was there in that room with us.
I have nothing coming through until I come in here by the way.
What? No way.
I have nothing until I can start hearing voices when I come in here.
But then once the spirit box had been sorted and everything was fine, we asked, because she'd asked before if we were unsafe in the room, and it said we were unsafe. We said, is there something bad in the room? And a voice said, me.
Is there something bad in here?
At the time it felt really like uneasy. We got out of that room immediately afterwards. Those are all the things that really happened on the first investigation, but for my first one it was really like, oh. The second one was in Renfrew Baths, which is an old swimming pool in Renfrew obviously. Lots of people have experienced different things in here. You can find out more about it on that video, but a little boy actually drowned in the pool years back, and there's lots of stories surrounding that, so it's quite a creepy place. It really is creepy. So not a lot actually happened in this investigation, and bear in mind we have these places for hours, so we were in this place, or all these places, from 8 o'clock at night to 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's a lot of time for something to happen, and most of the time you're just sitting there and nothing's happening. So the first one, nothing had happened for hours, and we're moving about all the different places in this bath, and then we went into the gym. So there's a gym like kind of down the stairs. So we're all sitting in the dark in this gym, and at the time I heard nothing, but see when I was replaying my footage, I heard a voice in the background of the footage. Didn't hear it at the time, didn't hear anything at the time, and it sounded to me like it was whispering, go away, like, go away. And then when we were sitting on the stairs out in the corridor, we heard what sounded like a baby voice and a child's voice coming through the spirit box.
Oh my god!
That was a baby voice, that was a little boy. It's a child's voice that came through though. My mind was trying to explain it. So when you hear normal voices, I think like it could be just scanning normal radio stations and we're just hearing what you hear. But I was thinking, can it scan baby monitors? And it's unlikely to have been scanning through a baby monitor, so what did we hear? After that, when we were sitting around the pool, we were trying again to see if we could hear it. And after we heard Phil, and after Kim said the boy fell, while editing I caught a faint kind of voice in the background saying yes. So I'm going to replay that 4 times and that's what you'll hear now.
The boy fell.
At the time we never heard anything, and it didn't come through the spirit box. You hear it as if it was right next to us. The third investigation was in an old scout hall in Uddingston, and one of the members of GPI, Alison, has had some weird experiences in this scout hall, so they thought it would be a good wee place to do an investigation. It was freezing cold this night. I always remember how cold that bloody scout hall was. We used the exact same spirit box as we had in the previous 2 investigations, but this time I've never heard voices come through so clearly as I did in this investigation. But this thing that kept coming through, we heard a few different things. We heard voices that sounded as if they were taking the piss, and then we also heard voices, or a really creepy, horrible, deep voice that sounded almost demonic. You'll see in the clips what I mean, but this was really terrifying. First of all, we were in this little room as you enter the scout hall, and we just kept hearing like different voices in the spirit box. Different normal voices. We heard a man laugh, which was funny.
Hi Tom!
Oh. Yeah.
Tom, did you used to come to scouts here?
I'm sure I heard like a child like giggle as well at one point. Oh my god. Oh, that was a little giggle. This is where we started hearing the horrible voice, and then we heard pretty clearly a man in an English accent saying stop it.
Did that just say Billy? I thought it said Billy.
Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
I like the sound of that.
Oh.
Stop it.
Oh my god. Then we moved into another room, so we're all sitting on these chairs in a circle in this little room. I kicked the tripod and now I've messed it up, so if it's different, sorry. So yeah, these horrible voices started calling us sluts. The reason it sounded like people were taking the piss, even though it wasn't, like there was nobody else there, but it sounded like ghosts were taking the piss out of us, because like they kept saying it in funny voices. It was really funny. Someone at one point went sluts, and then at one point someone went douche, like really clearly. But these were the clearest voices I've ever heard on the spirit box. We get called sluts a lot.
Is anybody there?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was so clear. I've never heard it like that. It was so clear. Sluts? That was a horrible voice. Did that say shush?
My hair's all full of
Sluts.
ice, but-
I thought it said sluts again. Yeah. Sluts. On camera at one point you hear a strange breath next to me and Marion, but at the time I remember it sounded like a whisper. And then on camera you can also hear a gasp at one point, but at the time didn't hear a thing.
I know. You hear that?
That was a whisper, that. Then there was also a little room. It was sort of like a big cupboard almost. Alison's son, I think it was scared to go in that room. So we went in there, we were trying out a spirit box. We kept hearing wee noises, like wee bangs here and there. And that's when we heard one of the voices saying sluts. It was really funny. But then we heard the horrible voice again. Something said stupid really clearly as well, which was strange. Oh. Stupid. Then we heard, it was like a little girl's voice, and it sounded to me like she was going, "Mommy!" And do you know what it sounded like? Do you know the film Poltergeist? It sounded like Carol Ann stuck in that other world shouting for her mum. That's what it sounded like to me. Mommy? That was a little girl shouting "Mummy." I just get two shivers there. And then, like in the very first video, the spirit box started making really weird noises again. So don't know what that was about. Oh. Oh.
You keep hearing bangs. I keep hearing banging and all that up there.
And that's all that really happened on that investigation, but that was really, like, I've never heard voices so clear like that in my life. It was really strange. So video 4 is where it all went down. The fourth investigation was filmed in the David Livingstone Centre. So it's from the 1800s. It's where David Livingstone, the missionary, was born and raised. Very creepy place. Massive place, very creepy. And you know, one of the clips from this video actually featured in a Chills video on YouTube. And if you don't know it, you'll have probably seen a Chills video without even realising, but Chills is like a massive channel on YouTube that has millions of subscribers, and they featured the clip that you're going to see at the end of this video in their video, so that was really cool. So the first thing that happened, kind of tame but pretty weird, we were in the birthing room. So this is where David Livingstone lived, and well, his family lived in there. I think it was something like 9 people were in this little room. You can see more of it in that video. Very small room. It had like a basket hanging on the ceiling. Part of the room was kind of not sealed off, but well, yeah, kind of sealed off. So it had posts, metal posts, and then a rope. You know what, you kind of know what I mean. I was on the opposite side from it. I think Kim was kind of nearby but not touching it at all. And at one point one of the posts fell over.
I've never lived in here, and I never seen Kim flinch, so, and I just seen you yourself.
So this is hooked on, and this came off, and then that fell
It's the
over.
first time that's ever happened. When
Is
I'm
it?
in the room. Yeah. The basket usually moves.
Oh. I mean, it's hooked on pretty well. Like, when we were in one of the other parts of the museum, Alison was saying her ears were sore, and then at the same time, Kim and the volunteer, so there was a volunteer showing us round, I should clarify that, their ears popped at the same time, as if the pressure changed in the room. And then later on, the Alice app said ears. I thought that was a funny coincidence. Also, Kim got a little stone thrown at her up in the same room that the pressure dropped, but I didn't get that on camera either. It was just like a little pebble was just like bouncing along the floor, but nobody had moved, so that was weird. So then we went to the chapel, which is where everything went down. It started off with a couple of people seeing shadows kind of moving about. My explanation for that was that when you're in the dark, you see shadows, you see things, your eyes play tricks on you because you're in such a dark place. You're in such a dark place. But the place is so dark that you do see things, you do. It's just your eyes playing tricks on you. But people were saying that they were seeing things. And we started hearing knocking from different parts of the building as well, different parts of the chapel. Alison started feeling really unwell, really dizzy and sick, and we were hearing knocking next to us. And then Kim asked if whatever it was could move away from Alison because she wasn't feeling well. and then almost immediately we heard a knock at the other end of the chapel as if it had moved right away. You can't hear it well on camera, which is annoying, but when you see me pan the camera around quickly, that's because I heard knocking at the other end of the chapel.
It's right behind you. It's moved over. Can you stand back from Alison? I think you're standing a bit too close to her, sorry, but it's just that it really affects us if you stand close to us. I told it to move back.
Wow.
Thank you for moving back.
That was quick. After this, Kim asked it to show itself.
Are you able to show yourself? Is it possible for you to show yourself?
And that's when things started getting really weird. The volunteer started getting really uneasy, and she was saying that she was seeing things like at the other end of the chapel. I stood up next to her and I was just focusing on like that sort of area of the chapel, and this sort of, not archway, but it's like a doorway. This doorway that you'll see now in the light, that was from earlier in the investigation, but that's what I was looking at in the dark when, you know, things started to go down. I didn't know exactly what she was seeing though. She didn't go into detail what she was seeing, but it was at that moment that I actually saw something myself, and it's the first time I've ever seen anything like that before. And what it looked like, so all I can describe it as, see when I'm looking in the dark, when you're looking in the dark and you can sort of see things moving and it's like your eyes are playing tricks on you, but it's just because the place is so dark. I saw something, it's as if it was even darker than the dark, if that makes sense. So something like really, really black. It was as if it peered out from behind the doorway and then back, and I saw this thing look out and look back, and then I asked the volunteer what she saw, and she said that she saw what looked like a dark figure peering out from behind the doorway. And I was like, that's exactly what I saw. And annoyingly, obviously you can't see it on camera, but you can see the moment that I did see it and I got a fright.
You guys? No.
Okay, I really thought I saw someone move up there.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I've actually got, my heart started pure beating there. Like, I'd never...
Yeah, well, that's what I felt.
Cause I've been watching it the whole time, and you know how your eyes play tricks on you and you think the shadow's moving, but it really looked like but it was more black. It was more rather than the kind of grey shadows. You know how you can kind of see the arch and you can see, like, obviously your eyes play tricks on you, but that looked like a big black, like it looked like a black mass. Like, that gave me a wee fright there. So see this corridor here, it looked like somebody was peeking out, and I was here, and like obviously your eyes play tricks on you, but when I was staring at it and it looked like the area was moving, a black kind of figure poked out. When I told the other girl, she said that they were seeing the same thing as well. So it was at that moment when we said that we'd seen something, Stephen, another guy that was in the group with us, he started taking pictures of that area of the chapel, just on his camera, like just snapping pictures continuously. Oh my god! So Stephen caught some green lights in a photograph when there was nothing there. Yeah, like 3 green orbs. Sorry, can I see the full photo again? Like the full yeah. See if you see there's a little green, there was nothing there. Okay, so this bit's really weird. Where I saw what I thought was a figure, I'm not sure. Stephen decided to take a picture of the area that we saw the figure, and he captured this on camera. Oh, it's so weird. He captured what looks like 3 figures, and the black thing at the end, like kind of sort of peering out, that's what I thought I saw. Basically, it's just really weird. And there's 3 figures in the
Which
photo.
we thought had moved up because Stephen went down there.
Kim also felt a breath in her face. Gina started feeling really unwell. Alison got dizzy and sick and had to leave. I think Gina left as well. And then I think it was Alison, the husband, had to leave as well because he started feeling really sick, and it was like everyone just started feeling sick. Somebody else is having to leave because they feel faint. I felt okay, but I just felt really freaked out that I'd seen something, but then eventually I just felt calm and I felt okay. And then to top it off, one of the other workers that was in the other group came in. They'd been in another part of the building, but she came in and she went, "Why are those cabinets switched on?" You'll see it in the clip. She turned these cabinet lights off and they were lying on.
Look at the cabinets off. From there on.
Did you turn them off?
It's really cold. So you put those cabinets off in there?
They were now and earlier on. I haven't touched the lights since.
Did you have them off?
So these were off apparently. So what the hell? I would love to hear your feedback, and also go and watch those videos as well. They're good fun. You'll see the full everything, and you'll hear more about the different buildings as well. But if anybody can maybe shed some light on what the hell we experienced, that would be great. I've got an open mind to suggestions. Part of me, like with what I saw, obviously that could have just been my eyes, but the fact I saw the same thing as what the volunteer was saying, I did see it. That's the thing, I do remember seeing it, but again, it could have just been the dark trick of the light, even though there weren't any lights on. I can't explain the EVPs or the spirit box things. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I also want to include some bonus footage from video 3. There's a part of the vlog where Kim was telling me about a previous investigation that she'd went on. Can't remember where she said it was, but there was a room that they heard voices in, and I think it was like room 308. They were hearing voices from this room, and she showed me an EVP that they caught of a grill, and it's amazing, so I'll insert that now. Kim just showed us this really weird EVP, and it's like you heard nothing at the time. I heard nothing at the time. But on the footage there's a grill.
It was room 308 and he said there's a woman laughing in that room. He says, but I went in and it's clear, there's nothing there, so we thought, right, we'll go and investigate it. So that was the reason.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's been a while since I've filmed a paranormal video. I'll need to go on another investigation at some point, but they just kill me because they're so late. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my content, and click the wee notification bell if you want notified of when I upload. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later.